Okay, it's time for the next stage of my no-build van build. Today we're talking about shelving. If you have been following my channel for a while, you know that in the past 6 years, my shelving situation has looked a lot of different ways in my van. I started off with a no build where I literally just had baskets that would pull out from under the bed. I had no shelves whatsoever. And then I upgraded to a small shoe shelf that sat beside my bed and my refrigerator could sit on top of it. And then I ultimately ended up with my big shelf that would go down the side when I got to my larger, more built setup. But by emptying out my van, I'm starting from scratch. And because everything has to come out of my van again in the future, whenever it goes into the shop, I wanted to make this as simple as possible. So I decided to pick up just some very inexpensive little shelving units at Walmart that can conceal my things, but at the same time can carry everything that I need in a way that's going to work out for me to be able to function. So these two right here are what they had at the Walmart whenever I went there. I don't know if I'm going to be using both of them or just one of them, but I can always use these in my closet at base camp as an organizer. So I thought I'll just go ahead and get both sizes just to see what I can do with them. Now, obviously right now they're inside, but there's a reason for that. I want to take them outside and kind of see what the space looks like. But before I do that, I want to see what kinds of things that I'm going to be needing to pack in them so that I can kind of figure out in the cool air what's going to go in the van. I could just systematically carry things out and just start loading these in, but that's going to take a lot more effort. And I've always been told if you're going to do something, to find the quickest way to do it and the most efficient way to do it. Work smarter, not harder. So while I have these inside, I'm going to be loading them with a variety of different things that I will be carrying with me, and then I'll know what fits. I'll be able to take the units outside, figure out the layout with the units themselves, and then I'll be able to bring the drawers out and put them inside, and I'll be done. This will be way easier and is going to be a great way for me to be able to travel without having to stress out about reinstalling a big shelf that I'm going to have to then uninstall in who knows how long whenever parts come in for my van. So this is what I'm working with. Again, I have two of these. These will be like a wider area, which would be great for clothing items. These are going to be a bit more narrow, and so inside of these, oh, they're still taped together, I think. Inside of these, I'm not going to have quite as much space. So what I was thinking is if I can use both of these, I could put clothing and items that I need to use daily so that I can organize them so it makes the most sense to me as I'm functioning in the van. That means my kitchen items need to go in here, my clothing items, my daily use items such as fans or batteries or things like that need to go in here. Now, I'm not talking about my big power stations. Those will obviously not fit in here, but the smaller items like the batteries that I use to power like my everyday items such as my like cameras and stuff like that, those can go in here and be out of sight, out of mind, so that they're not just flopping around or in little tubs that don't necessarily have any rhyme or reason. I do not want to have to get into my van and just start rifling through things to find stuff by using storage bins. That was something I knew I did not want to do. So if I can get this where it's in somewhat of a good order, where when I open up my van, I feel like I'm home, I will be happy. So let the organizing kind of begin. This is going to be something that's going to take a while. I'm going to sort through every single thing that I have and figure out how it would best fit. And this will be a slightly scaled down version of my van. So not everything that was in my van previous will be in this because I won't be taking everything with me. Now, I have a few reasons for that too. Number one, everything I put in, I have to take out. I do not want to pack my entire van down again and then get a call saying, hey, bring the van in, and then have to remove all those things. It just becomes super overwhelming. It took me like 3 good days to get everything out of the van that I previously had in there because I had everything packed to a T because I was traveling a long time. I was on the road multiple months at a time, and because of the way that I do things and the way I test gear and that I share things, I needed all those things in there. For these trips that I'm going to be taking with the van currently, they're going to be shorter. They're also going to be scaled back quite a bit, and they have very specific things in mind. I'm just happy to get back on the road, and I know that that's not going to be for an undetermined amount of time this time, because ultimately I am going to get that call and have to come back. Also, some of the things that were under the bed are actually going to be going up onto the roof because I don't have underbed storage like at all, and I'm not going to have underbed storage unless I go back to the other layout. So I'm gonna try to put all of my preparedness items up on the roof. I think that's the best place for them. So that means my jumper cables, my air compressor, my treads, all of those things will be up top. And then also anything that will not physically fit into the space. So I may end up taking, like if I have fancy clothes with me, I'll put them up top. I'm going to very specifically be going to Mountain House for the Mountain House retreat. I'm gonna put everything I'm packing for the Mountain House retreat in the box, and it's not gonna be in the cab at all. And that way I'll just have a bag, I'll grab it, and that's what's for the retreat. And then otherwise it'll go right back in there and go back up onto the roof. And those will be just like clothing items and specialty items for that. So that way they're not in my functioning space. I also put my camping chair up there and my little camping table and things that I will need around camp that I won't need every single day. So all of those things have a home up on the roof, and that will be really helpful. I may also put some additional layered items in case I do end up in a colder area. Right now it's hard to fathom that because it's still in the hundreds here in Texas, but I do want to make sure that if I go to like Colorado and I'm up in the mountains where it's in the 40s or 30s at night, that I am prepared. So extra blanket, extra like jacket, hoodie, all those things will go up top. So that's going to help me out a lot when it comes to just the basic layout inside. And then the rest of the stuff will either fit in one storage thing that I'll have kind of up in the front where I can access my shoes, or it'll fit in these little cabinets. So today we're going to figure out what exactly I'm taking with me. But it will start off by taking off this sticker and also the tape that's on the sides here so that we can actually get into the drawers. Tape in me, packages in me, always a problem, but that's okay. I got time. Not much of it, but I got some time. Okay, this is my kitchen bin. It has gotten really messed up in the process of moving it out of my van. So now let's take it apart. This for sure is going to stay here at my base camp. So this one, not going in the van. This needs to go in the van. This is all of my like different kinds of spatulas and things like that. In fact, I'm pretty sure I stole my can opener out of here, so I may have to put a new one in here. This is what this video is for, figuring out what I need, what I don't need. Oh, actually, there's some things in here that need to come out. This is here, though, so I'm good with the can opener. These knives are coming out. Okay, I have a few different items in here that I probably won't take with me because I'm scaling back again. So, let's see. What do I need and not need? Absolute bare necessities for my travel. I know that I have a different knife that's going in here, so I'll go ahead and grab that. And then I'll start to figure this out. I've had my kitchen set up for a while where I could cook for numerous people, but I'm gonna be traveling by myself for a bit. So I'm gonna take out anything that is for multiple people because I just don't need it right now. I can always add it back before I travel with friends again, which I'll probably be doing before long, but at least for this trip to Colorado, I know I'm not gonna need it. So I would rather just take it out and have less stuff just to kind of see if this setup works. And so I'll be taking out any additional things except for the things that I specifically need. So for sure I need this. And then I actually have a new morsel because my other one had met the untimely death. This is just my favorite morsel spork spoon that I had. I had a different version of this one. These are awesome because they have like a silicone on the side. It scoops into my Mountain House and grabs every little bit out of the pouch. This one actually has a metal top to it though. So this is my replacement morsel. So I'm gonna take this out of the package and this is gonna go in the van. You guys always are asking me where I get this and if I have a link. I do not have a link. They don't sell on Amazon and I don't know why, but you can go to Morsel, M-O-R-S-E-L, and that's where you can find them. These are amazing. I swear by this brand for this particular thing. I can literally eat anything with this pretty much. So this is my one thing that I would tell every person, whether you are tent camping like I was when I started out and I got one of these, or in a van, that you need one of these. Okay, cutting the package, and the The scissors also must be in this because I use these so frequently. So as a result, this is going to go in here. Now I won't need this one because I have that one. So this one's going to stay along with the knife, which realistically the knife is probably going to go in the trash because it's just not good anymore. I don't know that I'm going to be using anything that I'm going to need a ladle for, so I'm going to leave that one here for now. I do need the can opener for sure. This can stay. This is just another really awesome set for silverware. Again, I don't need this one right now though because I don't have guests coming with me. I'll probably take a spatula. Now the question is, do I want to take this one, or this one? The reason I have all three of these is because this one I use whenever I actually make brownies or cakes or anything like that because of the edge itself. This one I use whenever I am using the actual cooking devices. And then this one I was using more so if I was using a larger cooking device. So realistically, I could probably get away with taking just this one, I guess. I don't know. Sometimes the slots are problematic. This is where I get into the gray area of my kitchen. I've acquired my kitchen items over time based on the things that I do, and I don't foresee myself baking a whole lot of baked goods while I'm by myself. At the same time, I do see myself cooking other kinds of foods, so maybe I take the bigger one, just because I'd rather have it rather than not having it in that particular case. Yeah, maybe. This is where it gets hard. Making a judgment call, taking the big one, leaving these two. And again, I'll probably add those back in if I'm going to travel with someone because I know I bake whenever I'm traveling with someone. I don't really need these because I only use these for baking. And I will take these because I use these very frequently. Spoons, I have two of these and kind of the same thing. I use these whenever I have people with me. I don't necessarily need a full-on spoon for this, so these are going to stay. I will keep this with me because I use this a lot of times whenever I'm baking in the Ridge Monkey or making meats just to keep them super moist. Okay, I have scaled back over half. Okay, next up, I know for a fact the kettle's coming with me. The kettle goes with me everywhere. It's amazing. I love this pop-up kettle so much. I can make a mountain house with this. I can make hot tea. I can heat water for coffee. Definitely going with me. I also will be taking this plate for sure because I use it. I probably should replace this plate at some point. I might end up doing that, but right now it'll work for now. So this is going with me, and then probably this because I can use this as a pop-up bowl. So if I have something like noodles, I can pop this up and it not be a problem. So this is my basic setup for what I need there. Now the interesting thing is I have a cutting board, and normally I would say, oh yeah, let me take it. But if it's just me, I can cut on my plate realistically, so not too worried about that. Probably will pass on taking my cutting board, which I may regret. I may regret that. This is a short trip though. This is a trip to see if I can figure out if this works. If this works, I can always add if I feel like I was missing those things. The cutting board, again, is one of those things that a lot of times if I'm making portion sizes that are larger than one, I use it a lot more. If I'm making portion sizes for just one, I use it far less. So I think I'm just gonna pass on it. Okay, it seems really stupid to have a bag of bags, but this is the best way to store these. So it's my reusable storage bags. These are just baggies that you can actually wash out as opposed to using single-use plastics. So I'm going to take these, and this actually folds down a little bit, so I'll be able to lay these flat on the bottom. And so that is something I use very frequently, so it definitely has to go with me. I also use these snack bags. I don't know that I'm going to use these snack bags for this trip. I will be adding these back before I go on my next trip though, because I like to put like granola and oatmeal and things like that in them for portions. It just helps a lot so that I know how much I need without having to measure everything all the time. I also do this with like potato flakes. If I get a big box, I can portion them down into like one serving or two. Maybe I will keep these with me just in case because I do like that. So, okay, I will take these. As you can see, this is why it's hard sometimes because, again, I have very much so tweaked what it is that I have and that I carry with me for very specific uses that I use very frequently. And so sometimes I need to just realize that sometimes those things are just going to work best and just be okay with taking a few extra things. And then sometimes, like with the silverware, I can scale back because I know I'm not going to be using those at this moment, just based on how I'm traveling. So this is going to be a process. I know for a fact that I need to take my stove, which I need to figure out where I put, and I need to see if it'll fit in this thing that I have. I don't think it's gonna fit. This is the case, and it is big. And it takes up the whole case, so it's not like I can just be like, oh no, it's much smaller. No. Okay, it will fit. It seems like a huge waste of space though, putting that in there. That could otherwise be used for something else, because that is basically the whole drawer. Before, this stood up right under my bed, out of the way, tucked away until I was ready to use it. And it wasn't that big of a deal, but now it's a much bigger deal because the space is changing and I don't want it to just be flopping around out in the middle of the room, so to speak. There's gonna be a lot of challenges with this, I feel. So I'm gonna continue going through this thing and see what is and isn't gonna make the cut. And then I'll update you as to how this all fits into hopefully one drawer. That is my goal. One drawer. That's all I'm allowing myself for all of the cooking utensils and items and things. I only should need one drawer. Okay, go with me on this. This is my Primus setup with my little Primus stove that is much smaller than this big guy. This is my backpacking stove that I used to carry with me to tent camp. And I love this thing. It's like a cup and also a tiny frying pan. And also you can boil water in here, or you can use it to drink. It does a lot of things. So there you go, right there. This thing is awesome. I've had this forever and it's always been a part of my kitchen, but I haven't used it as much as of late because, again, using this big guy. So I'm gonna take this with me. I think that this is plenty for what I'm doing whenever I'm in Colorado. And whenever I come back through Texas, I can always add this back in after I've figured out the space a little bit more whenever I'm traveling with friends. But this will be fine for what I need for right now. Probably am going to have to get some different little canisters though, because this one looks sketchy and I don't want to use it even though it's kind of got some stuff in it. No, I don't use anything that looks like this because that could be a problem and I'm not trying to do that. So I'm going to do that and make a little list. And I'm also going to see if I have any more canisters out in my storage, my climate controlled storage, that actually fit this already. If I do, then I won't have to purchase any, but if I do have to purchase some, that's a very small purchase in comparison. And then I'll still have plenty of butane for my other stove so that I'll be able to use it whenever I add it to the van again. Sure enough, I have another canister, so this one's going in here with me. And I'll see if I have any more, but I think that this one will be okay. Okay, I decided to change out my bowl for a regular bowl, and because of that, it actually fits perfectly, and so everything fits into one drawer. You might be thinking, oh, where's your cup? Are you gonna take a cup? Well, I usually travel with water bottles, which I place kind of strategically around the van, so that doesn't have to go in here. But I do have a coffee cup that has a carabiner on it, and that actually attaches to my wall, so that doesn't go in here either. So everything that's in there is all that I should need for the travels that I'm making this trip. I do want to go ahead and get these things kind of put together. So I always travel with rinse-free sponges. These are awesome, especially if you're in areas that you cannot take a shower. You just put a tiny bit of water on these, they soap up. You do a good once over shower and you are clean, and it's so nice. And I actually just ordered some more of the caps too, because I knew that I was gonna be starting to travel again. So I need to pack some of these little drench caps and also some of these, because these are a staple in my van. And going to Colorado, especially some of the places that I enjoy staying, there's no showers. So I refuse to be gross, ever. There's no point in ever being gross in van life. You can do this kind of shower or like a sponge bath and not feel gross. But with this, especially because these are the ones that they actually use at hospitals. So if they're good enough for a hospital on getting cleanliness, I'm pretty sure they're good enough for van life. So within this package, I have several new ones. So altogether, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then I think I had one already, so 6 of these. So I'm gonna be for sure taking these, and then probably one of these. So I have one that's unopened, and then one that's already opened with just this weird tab that I can throw away. So I'll take this, let me see. Oh yeah, that's really full. So I'll take one of these and then the drenches, and that'll be good. And for these, I just like to take the air kind of out of them so they pack smaller. because these are just cloths, so it doesn't really matter if they're fully inflated or not. That just made that so much smaller than it was. And so now I'm just gonna take them and put them in a packing cube. Now this is not my only way to bathe. I actually have a shower bag also that I will be taking, because obviously I'll be doing actual showers where I can. But this is like my all the time in the van, where if I need it, it's there. And this could actually potentially go up onto the roof also, if I decided that I'm not using it frequently. So for the time being, it's just gonna go in this, and then this can go either in the bin or it can go up on the roof. And that leaves me with 2 more of these Eddie Bauer packing cubes. And then I have a couple more also that I can work with. So this is a good place to start kind of thinking for the next steps. In addition to those, I have no rinse shampoo and also body wash. So I'm gonna put those in there. These are just ways that I can keep clean without having to actually be at a shower. So again, there's no reason that you shouldn't be clean doing van life. So I'll see you guys in the morning, and maybe I'll have solutions for some more things. Okay, it has been a process, but I think I finally figured out how exactly the shelving is gonna fit into the van, and with that, what exactly I need to do. So I just went on to Amazon and I ordered 2 little, well, it comes in 3, but I need 2 of these little boxes that I am using currently at base camp, but they are the right size for my very small gap that I have in the van. Let me show you what they look like, and then I'll have to wait until Monday, which today's Friday, so a couple more days before they actually come in, but I ordered them in gray so they'll match the van. So I use these. This is just like a foldable like container that has a lid. It's a soft side. It's not anything too crazy, but it has lots of good storage space, which means that if I put 2 of these beside my bed, I'll be able to use these probably for my food storage, and use them just kind of like I do with my snack thing here. So that'll allow me to put my food in a good place that is not going to be like in where I need my cameras and my clothes, and that'll solve a huge issue. Now with that said, that means that I'm going to limit my food to what will fit in my fridge or what will fit in these, and I may use one of these as my like kitchen items, because I don't know that the other shelf is actually going to fit the one that I previously sorted things into. So if it does not, I will be using one of these for the kitchen items and then one for the food. And if it does, then, you know, maybe I'll use one of these for food and one for something else. I don't know, but I have to wait until Monday till they come in. But that makes me feel a lot better. I'm starting to make some progress when it comes to the things that are going into the van. I still need to fold a ton of stuff. I've been weeding through and I found several things that will make the cut and will not make the cut. And so based on that, that's how I'll be packing. But I did take the bigger set of shelves outside to kind of maneuver it, and there's hope. There is hope. Additionally, I ordered some more packing cubes, some compression packing cubes, because I know that the packing cubes that I have are nice. However, I have 2 different sets. One is compression, one is not compression, and I can definitely tell the difference when I'm packing my things, because, well, the non-compression ones, it just takes up so much more room. So I decided to go ahead and just order another set of packing cubes. I haven't used packing cubes in the setup in quite some time, but this is gonna be super handy because it's gonna allow me to take items like this and compress them down into a smaller space so I can carry all the things that I need, and it won't appear to be chaotic. Now that doesn't mean that I'm gonna fold all of the shirts and put them in the compression sacks. I'll probably use those for like socks and underwear and things like that. It just makes it go easier. I'll also probably use it for like my toiletry bag so I can get it into the smallest amount of space necessary. And yeah, that'll be good though. So all of those things should be coming in. The compression sacks will come in tomorrow, which will be Saturday, and then Monday I'll have the other storage so I can get all of this going. Progress is being made. In the meantime, I could go ahead and put these all out in the van because these go in the doors. This is where I kind of keep them so that they're accessible while I'm driving, and then I can move them as I need them. I also need to test while I'm out here to see if my cord is long enough to go over to where I think my battery pack is going to fit, and then I need to test to make sure the battery pack will in fact fit there, or if I need to order something else to put it in. I'm trying super hard to keep the cost to a minimum and just use the things that I already have. But in certain instances, like with my lights, I have to have my lights, and I cannot just go in and redo the whole thing just to reconfigure it for this. It's just too time consuming in that heat. So I would rather order a $8 like magnetic thing than do that. So, you know, you give, you take, you move on. But I do have some containers already, so I'm hoping that it'll fit. So I'm gonna take a battery outside just to kind of see, and if it does work, we're in business. Okay, starting off, I put one of these lights in both sides. It looks like my little dust brush has fallen though, so I need to pull that out. Okay, and then the light goes in here, and then my umbrella will go in this side somehow. I know it fits because it came out of here. There it goes. Okay, so that's available. And then I have a little spot here that I can put other stuff in, but I'm going to be putting my hatchet in there just for safekeeping for the time being. Actually, after reworking it, this works a little bit better, so I still have this spot to work with. And then in this one, I'll start it off with the light. It'll kind of go back toward the back, I think. There we go. So I have this space to work with. Okay, shoes off to get into the van. And then up I go to test out this battery theory that I have. The first question is, will it fit? No, it will not fit. No! The second question is this cord long enough if it doesn't fit? Okay, so overall, it looks as though the cord's a little tangled, but it will actually make it all the way down. So this may not be a problem. Okay, so this is what it looks like. I don't love this at all. I hate this. I feel like this is gonna be problematic for me. So maybe I'll look at some more little containers that are like this, but like wider maybe. Troubleshooting the van is not fun at all. And it's a very hot job to troubleshoot right now. So the positive is I know the cord is long enough if I find nothing. The negative is now I have to go find something. And I would normally just buy little locker shelves like this at my local Walmart, but they don't have any right now. So everything I look for has to be online unless I want to venture into another community, which is a problem also right now because it's just a lot. It becomes overwhelming. So I will look to see if they have another kind of shelf. I've already measured the space that I have. It is 15 inches tall by like 11 inches wide. So if I can find something that fits into that, cool. Not super optimistic, but I do have the other things that I need to have already covered. So I have my 3 little basket shelves here that I use. I also have a 5x7 mirror that's coming in, so this one will probably scoot over and the mirror will go here. I have this space to work with. I have already earmarked a place for my hats, and then also for my hanging coats if I have a jacket or a hoodie. And the good thing about this is if I hang them up, I'll have a little bit of support because I can put a piece of Velcro across them so they don't flop out into the room. And so that'll be really good. I've done that before very early on with my channel, and I really liked that setup. So I'm going back with that setup again, and it'll give it a nice homey feel without making it feel like it's a lot to work on. I already have all the things for that, so that's good. Also, I figured out a bag solution. So in the van, I have these hooks that are already a part of the van, and I'm actually going to take a carabiner and attach it to this one and also this one to be able to carry my travel bags that I use. So I'll carry my Murphy sling bag on this side probably, and I'll probably take either my cute nice bag and my fanny pack and put it here, just because those are the different sizes of bags that I use. So that'll be the larger bag and then the 2 smaller bags. Again, none of that will interfere with how I interact in this space, so that will be perfect, and that'll take care of all of that. So I'm feeling optimistic when it comes to that part. The main thing that I'm working on right now is figuring out how to put the things that I need into the space without the underbed storage, and that has been a little tricky. Now, ultimately, if I do like this bed setup, I can install my shelf again, and this will solve a lot of those problems. But for the time being, since I'm not installing the big shelf because it's just really hard, I'm just trying to figure out how I can function in the space. Do I like it? Is this something that I would like to move forward with because I do like the entertainment space? And also, is this going to be something that is functional to me? As you can see, paring down the kitchen, that was a lot. And if I do travel with another person, I'll have to figure out how to accommodate for that later on by adding back in the bigger stove. But so far, so good. It's slow coming, but it's working. Okay, some packages have arrived, and with that said, I've kind of been going through some things here at my base camp. So I started out with really bad allergies. I have now officially been attacked by an ant. And just to kind of give you guys an idea as to what that means to me, I am super allergic to the ants. The problem is, I can't take allergy meds unless I go night-night, because I cannot. I've tried them all. They do not work for me the same way they work for other people. And so it's a problem. So in the meantime, I have just been going through it all the while trying to get the van ready. But today I am going to go ahead and put my mirror into my van. It came in, and so I'm going to kind of move some things around to kind of see what I think. And then also I picked up one other thing, which I'm going to see if I can make it work also. Not sure if this is a project I'm going to complete today, but I'm at least going to get an idea as to where it's going to go. And then this will be a little arts and crafts project. So just going to get as much of this done as I can. Again, not feeling the greatest because this is quite large. It's kind of harder to see with this kind of light that I'm in, but it's not good. Okay, so I'm going to start off by opening this, and then I picked this up in the holiday section, like for fall, and I kind of want to see if I can make this stretch kind of in one little area. This might be how I display my photos for just a little while, but I had an idea, so I'm going to see if it would even work. So to start out, opening my little Amazon mirror here, and this was just a quick find because my little local Walmart did not have any more of these in stock. So it's just a regular locker mirror. So this should be pretty easy. Getting the plastic off, maybe not so much. Okay, so I'm kind of thinking that it's going to go over here if it'll fit. I may have to rearrange just a little bit, but that will work right there. And then straighten it out. I may end up moving this, which is my thermometer, but after I put things in these, I'll be able to tell a little bit better. Okay, super simple solution. Oh, it's just bad. It's bad. Oh, I may end up having to take an allergy pill after all and just lay down for a little while. In which case, I'll probably pick this video up on another video. I've had the darndest luck between the heat, the fact that, like, my body is just not responding well to this heat dome. My allergies have been a mess. And then now I get attacked by the one thing that seems to be everywhere at my house because of the heat. Like, I've tried everything. I'm even sprinkling cinnamon around my countertops just to kind of avert them from being around. And I'm not keeping food out or anything. So it's just like, okay. Oh, I need the heat to let up because that's forcing them to look for things inside more than they ever have. So let's try this other thing though before I do that and just kind of get some ideas, and then I'll go take an allergy med and I'll see you guys again very soon, probably tomorrow. Okay, so this, again, it's just a little garland. It's supposed to be 3 feet. Found it in the fall section for $2, which was a steal of a deal. So in theory, I'm thinking something like this would work, and I just have it draped right now just to kind of look at it, but I think this is going to work really well. Now the next part might be where it gets questionable. I'm going to try to use some little tiny clips on this so I could secure like photos to it maybe. I have some in my craft box, so I will be looking into this project now that I know that it will fit there. And if this works out well, I'll get another one and do the other side also. What I'm learning is I can have meaningful solutions without a bunch of stuff. And that's cool. I like that. All this stuff is no build, and realistically it's all things that anyone could do to their van if they really wanted to. And so it's showing kind of a little bit of a different version of my van journey. And I like this because it's giving me like a little bit of a reset and a refresh, which I really needed after all the stuff that's happened with the problems with the van. Now, again, I know I keep opening the doors while I'm here at base camp, but that's because if for some reason they don't close, I'm at my base camp. I would never feel comfortable doing this on the road just based on what I kind of have been seeing. So once I leave here, this will be the last time that the doors actually open until I return back to base camp, unless there's like some absolute emergency where I have to flee through the rear of the van. Just because I think that that's where I feel the most comfortable. I always tell you guys to find things that make you happy, that make you feel safe, that make you feel comfortable, and sometimes navigating through things is not the easiest, like with this. So, with that said, I'm gonna go and work on this little project. I'll share with you guys if it worked or not on my next episode. But until then, guys, remember, we're not here for a long time, but we are here for a good time. And well, sometimes that good time just obviously involves a lot of steps and potentially, an injury along the way. Why is this my life? Oh, I'm hoping I'll feel better tomorrow. Till next time, guys. Bye.